Matt Lenihan, Boxing Social, in association with Empire Fight Store, being joined by Eddie Hearn from LA. Eddie, huge fight week. A bit of a brazen start from you, already sticking it on Terence Crawford over a £700 hotel bill. An interesting first day.
Yeah, it's great. Like, obviously it's an early start to fight week on these Riyadh season events. Tonight we're on Santa Monica Pier for the grand arrivals, so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I think Crawford and Madrimov respect each other a lot. They're not really trash talkers, so I just wanted to stoke the fire a little bit.
Yeah.
Drive the views and the interest. I think he's done a good job, and hopefully Terence will take me on a darts this week.
You mentioned that you thought he looked nervous. Is this all mind games, or do you
Yeah,
actually believe he is? Yeah.
he didn't really look nervous, but I think he's got a tough fight. I think they know that as well. Like, this is definitely, in my opinion, the toughest fight of his career so far. One, because of how good Madrimov is, but two, because of the weight class. You're talking about a guy that started at 35, moving to 40, 47, now 54. So I think this is a very tough fight for him. He's a tremendous fighter. He's a pound for pound great, but sometimes you move up too far, and hopefully that's this Saturday.
Is Israil Madrimov being overlooked in this fight with all the talk of a Canelo fight by obviously His Excellency?
I don't think Terence is the kind of guy that's going to be ill prepared in a fight like this. But at the same time, everybody is talking about what might be next. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what might be next. And I think that'll come in the way of potentially a rematch even between Madrimov and Crawford, or obviously if Crawford does win, His Excellency will try and make the Canelo Alvarez fight.
Absolutely. In terms of the card, top to bottom, aside from the main event, where do you see the upsets? Where do you see one where you think, I'm not sure?
I think Pitbull against Rayo is just a brilliant all-Mexican fight. I mean, Pitbull's become one of the biggest stars in American boxing now. So exciting. I'm really interested in the Andy Ruiz-Miller fight. I mean, Miller's come in 40-pound lighter, looks completely different. Like, Andy Ruiz has been in and out of sport for a couple of years. Where's his head at? Who really knows? My favourite fight on the card, probably on the undercard, is Jared Anderson against Martin Bakole. I think it's such a weird bit of matchmaking, because not a lot of people know Bakole is, particularly over here, but we know he's very, very good. And I think it's going to be really interesting to see how Jared Anderson deals with Martin Bakole. He's a big, strong heavyweight, and if Bakole's in shape and he's got the balls for it, I think he might win that fight.
Yeah, I agree. I think aside from the main event, that's the one I'm most looking forward to see, just because we've heard about Bakole for many years. Off the back of obviously news about Shakur Stevenson, you were speaking to him the other week, and it seemed like things were moving in a certain direction. Reports of a Gervonta Tank Davis fight this morning. Now we're hearing he's tentatively agreed verbally for his Opetaia fight. Where are you at with Shakur Stevenson and what he's doing right now?
Nothing really. I mean, I was involved with his team. I spoke to His Excellency the other night about the Opetaia fight. His team, have given me the all clear to proceed with conversations for that fight. Obviously, His Excellency can do what he wants with certain fights. So, hopefully I can be involved in a great fight for that card, which would be Shakur Stevenson against Opetaia. But, nothing confirmed. I just spoke to Shakur Stevenson's team. Nothing contracted yet. So we'll see where it goes.
But you ideally are wanting to add him to the Matchroom stable, not just negotiate for that one specific fight.
Yeah, he's a pound for pound great fighter. I'd love to add him to the team.
Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis, a bit of a body blow. I know we were looking forward to that new arena, but postponed to October.
Yeah, gutted really. I mean, unfortunately these things happen. So August will become October, and we'll release the new date for that fight shortly.
What's the nature of the injury to Jack Catterall? And how serious was it?
I'll leave that to Jack. It's a minor injury, to be honest with you. But unfortunately ruled him out, and he's going to need probably only 3 or 4 weeks off camp. But he'll be back fit, ready to go for October.
In terms of anyone else getting added to that card, will there be additions to that card, or will that card just remain as is for now, just everything gets moved?
Yeah, we're going to move a few bits and pieces, namely Terry Harper against Rhiannon Dixon for the world title. We'll move to Sheffield for the Dalton Smith card. So, and now we'll look at other fights as well and see where we reposition them.
Jaya Opetaia was quite vocal the other night on TV about the Chris Billam-Smith fight. Where are we at with that? Obviously, yourself in conjunction with Tasman fighters.
I don't think Billam-Smith, those guys want that fight. They've been made a big offer to fight on October 12th, which they turned down, which is disappointing. So we'll have to see. But I think they're probably looking at the other champions, because they see that as an easier task.
Is the biggest money not Jai Opetaia in that fight, though?
Yeah, it is, but obviously, you know, it's a very, very dangerous fight. So they're probably looking at easier options.
What have you seen of the Olympics whilst you've been out there? Obviously, it's caused a bit of a stir.
Yeah, I mean,
go on.
Go on. No,
I was going to start with a lot of controversy around obviously Delicious the heavyweight and the judging. Obviously, I suppose that's nothing new. What did you make of that?
You know, I haven't seen the fight. I was just following it on social, and obviously most people thought Delicious won the fight, but it's been a disastrous start for Team GB. I think we've only got 1 or 2 fighters left. Lewis Richardson, I think one other fighter as well. So, yeah, I mean, disappointing. Hopefully those guys can come through. Gutted for Delicious Ori. You know, it sounds like he won the fight, but it's amateur boxing. And, you know, I think there's a couple of, obviously, Beatrice Ferreira for us is through, and that's a big chance for her to win gold. She could meet Kelly Harrington later in the tournament, which would be a tough fight. I'm going to try and get to Paris, actually, to watch some of it. But, yeah, not a great start for Team GB, but hopefully we can pull it back.
Obviously, X and Twitter, and there's been a lot of reports around The Guardian, The Telegraph, about the International Olympic Committee defending its decision to allow 2 boxers who failed testosterone and gender eligibility tests and previously been pulled from other tournaments, but they've been allowed to compete in Paris. What's your thoughts on that? There's been a lot of people who've been vocal online about it.
I don't know if there's even a debate. I mean,
No.
I don't know enough about the situation. I don't know enough about the athletes or who, what, but the only thing I will say is, if you, in my opinion, and this is, you know, if you are born male, you should not be competing against females. I mean, that's my bread and butter opinion, particularly in a sport, by the way. You know, and this is, by the way, you know, I'm not saying there should be different rules for different sports, but if there's different arguments for sports that aren't physical, where there is no, you know, where in a sport where you can receive physical damage, it is very different to a conversation and a debate in another sport. But in boxing, that is my opinion.
How is there even any slightly blurred lines in this? I don't understand.
Because the world's gone a little bit crazy, and common sense is a thing of the past.
Yeah, well, I agree. After the last couple of days, it certainly seems so. Look, towards the end of this year, in terms of other UK shows that you've been wanting to put on, any more plans? Obviously, we know Dalton Smith's coming out. What are the other shows coming up?
At least 4 fights for the UK. So we've got Dalton Smith, September 28th. Now Catterall Prograis as well. Another big show we're looking at for October, early November. And then another one, big British, all British clash, November, early December. And obviously AJ Riyadh season, September 21st.
What do you make of Derek Chisora? There's obviously talks of a trilogy. You know what? It was no dog in the race. It was quite nice to see his last fight at the O2 pick up a victory, and it's given a lot to the sport. Talks of a Dillian White fight. Would you promote that fight?
I don't know. You know, I think it will always be entertaining, those two. But you know, part of me, part of me would see that, you know, this is a situation where, you know, he should be looking to, you know, go with that and call it a day at the O2. So, you know, that's the way forward.
Any updates on any other signings? Obviously, Shakur Stevenson aside, you've obviously made strides in terms of the American market with Jerome Boots Ennis, and you're part of a Terence Crawford fight week as well there, obviously, because of Israil Madrimov. But any other signings coming to fruition over the next couple of weeks?
Yeah, I believe so. I'll watch this space.
Look it up. Eddie, I appreciate you giving us some of your time over there in LA. Catch up soon. Mate.